With Larry Scott is E9-1-1 Institute board member Thera Bradshaw.
Okay, we are now on to the very important award, the 911 Call Taker Award. You know, this is the grassroots frontline work that's so important to all of us. Jesse Avery is a dispatcher at Cripple Creek Emergency Communications in Cripple Creek, Colorado. As a seasoned call taker, Jessie has demonstrated to her colleagues a level of dedication, skill, and initiative that truly stands out. In addition, Jessie has successfully handled some of the most challenging 911 coming into the center, including children with emergencies, pranks, complex medical emergencies where her extraordinary skill and patience paid off. She is noted for always going the extra mile when taking a call, and she will compassionately follow up to make sure everything is okay. When interviewed by the Investigation Discovery Program, she attributes her actions to just doing my job. She is cited by her director for keeping above and beyond and going above and beyond in her role with every single call she takes, working to keep the citizens of Colorado, her own beautiful state, very safe. Please welcome 911 call taker honoree Jessie Lynn Avery.
With Jessie Lynn Avery is E9-1-1 Institute board member Jim Nixon.
Okay, she was pointing out her supervisor to me who had a big camera in front of her face. And you can just see it takes team efforts and great management as well as the great frontline workers to get the job done. So I'm going to leave you now, but again, I want to thank you for everything you do. As the Congresswoman said, we're going to get this bill done, bipartisan basis. Senator Burr and I are carrying it in the Senate, and we are relentless. So thank you very much. Have a great evening.
We have a very special guest tonight that I wanted to introduce while we're waiting for Congressman Shimkus to arrive. We're very fortunate tonight to have someone who took some time out of their busy schedule. May I have your attention, please? I'll put on my ugly school teacher face. Many of you may not know this, but I actually did teach school. When I first arrived here in Washington, D.C. to go to graduate school, I took a part-time job teaching high school. And I was fresh off the plane from North Dakota. My idea of cultural diversity was going to a Lutheran and a Catholic wedding. And being newly arrived in D.C., this was quite a culture shock for me, and I was busily trying to teach all senior, all boys at Mackin Catholic High School here in the district. Well, as luck would have it, one of my students eventually became mayor of Washington, D.C. So you can imagine I am deeply honored in many levels to be able to introduce one of my former students, Mayor Adrian Fenty.
All right. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Brody. Now listen, I just want to say I'm here I have a specific role, which is to give out an award to some of the hardest working public servants that I've ever had the opportunity to know or work with. But I do want to just take a second to thank all of you. I know we've got all kind of first responders here and people who appreciate the role of first responder. When you become mayor, you get called to so many different scenes in the middle of the night, and I've never had the opportunity to do this where the firefighters, the police officers, the call takers, the Homeland Security folk, all are just working around the clock, getting no sleep, doing a great job. So just a round of applause to all of our first responders, police, fire, communications, Homeland Security. Thank you so much for what you do. Here in Washington, D.C., in our never-ending quest to make all of the nation proud of how we do business in the nation's capital, we are continually making our Unified Communications Office more state-of-the-art, more responsive, and connecting better with citizens and frontline responders. And it gives me great pleasure to be able to read into the record this award that will go to our director, Janice Quintana, and her entire team at the Office of Unified Communications. It is the Outstanding 911 Program Award, and it recognizes an innovative and forward-looking plan to enhance the future viability of public emergency communication systems. ROUC has demonstrated a record for innovation and high-level performance, including their most recently successful effort of 10,000 calls on the inauguration day of President Barack Obama. For those who don't know, 2 million people on the mall, not one recorded incident of crime. That's how our first responders did that day. It says in my notes that the Office of Unified Communications is responsible for dispatching MPD, fire and emergency medical services. Talks a little bit more about the inauguration in our state-of-the-art facility, which I hope everyone gets a chance to visit. What it doesn't have in my notes is that this winter, we had 40 inches of snow in 5 days, 60 inches of snow for the entire winter, more snow than they've ever had, going all the way back to Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, hanging out in our fabulous city. And these call takers must have taken thousands and thousands of calls from people who wanted and needed and got their streets plowed. So for all of those reasons, I present the Outstanding 911 Program Award to the Office of Unified Communications.
On stage with the OUC team, Janice Quinta, also E9-1-1 Institute board member Tim Lorella.
All right. One big family picture.
It's great when the ceremony's in your own city.
It is great.
Bring more people.
All right, come on back, Dorothy. Then we'll get everybody in. Great, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy Washington.
It's my pleasure and my honor to introduce Congressman John Shimkus, one of the original founders of the E9-1-1 caucus and a longtime friend of 911. And on behalf of our organization, I introduce him and present this award to him. Thank you, Congressman Shimkus.
Too expensive to play catch with, so it's great to have you all here tonight. Sorry I came late, but I was at a couple other events, and I'm sorry I missed Senator Klobuchar. It would have been good to meet with her. Richard Burr sends his regards, and my good friend Anna Eshoo, I heard, was here earlier. Now, Anna and I were fighting today in committee on other issues, so I was hoping to be able to give her a big hug at the at the E9-1-1 Institute dinner, but I think she snuck out, so I'll have to do that tomorrow. The E9-1-1 caucus has worked with you all diligently for many, many years, and we're excited about the progress, and we're excited about the future. We've got a united bill on both sides of the hill, the House and the Senate, which tries to get this thing done right this time. And we're calling upon you for your help. As you go see your members of Congress, your U.S. senators, get them on board, because what we need to do is, again, get this done right. We've worked out some of the bugs, and we need to get funding out to where it needs to go. It's amazing how in all the hearings that we have, most members understand that we cannot afford to have another natural disaster that we cannot talk to each other. And we just can't. And have you heard out there that there's a little anti-incumbent mood out there a little bit? I've heard that. That will be multiplied even more if we fail to deliver a communication ability of our first-line responders to address the needs of our constituents. You all are you're just the backbone of that. We rely on you, so I'm going to charge you to charge the Hill and get the sponsorship so that we can show enough support for these two measures that we get them passed in both bodies and get it to the President for a signature. So I have two awards to give out tonight, and we're getting close to the end of the evening. The first one is the Outstanding 911 Program, and that is to the Fort Worth Police Communication Center that have used two things: innovative technology and, in essence, second language proficiency to meet the needs of those who obviously don't have a full command of the English language. So with that, I'd like to invite them to come forward and congratulate them for their success in moving to help save lives.
Accompanying Shirley Coe, Johnny Ortiz, Abdul Pridgen, and Carrie Beckridge from the Fort Worth 911 Call Center. Also, E9-1-1 Institute board member Art Prest.
And this is one that I'm excited about all these. And the great thing about the Institute and this dinner is that it helps us focus on what our true mission is. And that's bringing communication to first-line responders so that we can save lives. So thank you for your work. Now, this Citizen in Action Award goes to Chantel Perry from, of all places, Mount Carmel, Illinois. Chantel Perry is a 17-year-old high school student from Mount Carmel, Illinois, and works as a waitress at a local restaurant. Last September, one of Chantel's co-workers collapsed, showing no signs of life. Acting quickly, Chantel instructed another co-worker to call 911 as Chantel administered CPR. She continued CPR with the 911 call takers online until paramedics arrived. Thanks to the quick action by Chantel and the 911 call that dispatched the paramedics in a timely manner, the patient's pulse was revived and breath restored. Chantel saved the life of her co-worker. Chantel is being honored here tonight for several reasons. First and foremost is the heroism and quick action she took to save a life, but we are also honoring her to underscore the critical importance that everyone, starting as students, be trained in CPR, and my son's going to take life-saving lessons to be trained in CPR. I hope he learns, that's the other question, and know how to use 911 in emergency service. Please join me in honoring Chantel Perry.
Accompanying Chantel Perry is E9-1-1 Institute board member Angel Arocho.
This is Lucas, my son, 4 years old. How old are you?
4.
4, okay. And what happens when you have an emergency? What do you do?
Call 911.
That's right. Okay. Well, the reason I want to introduce Lucas to you is that April is National 911 Education Month. And Janice Quintia from the DC Call Center, Janice, over there, she has agreed to come with me and spend a day in Lucas's daycare. We'll probably visit a few other daycares around Washington, D.C. We're going to go in and we're going to read books to Lucas and his classmates and other children and teach them about 911. We have other board members of the Institute who have agreed to do the same thing in their home areas. So one of the things I want to mention tonight is challenge all of you and think if every single one of you spent at least a half a day or maybe an hour or two, go to your PSAP, get some education materials, and take some time to go teach some children about 911. Is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? Okay.
Oh, I have to do more stuff.
Yeah, okay. So thank you all very much, and I believe we have Paul Fahey is going to have an announcement, introduction here. So thank you all very much. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.
It's always hard to follow an adorable child, but I'll do my best. On behalf of the 911 Industry Alliance and the other partners, again, thank you for coming this evening. It's my honor to introduce FCC Commissioner Mignon Clyburn. She's going to be speaking to us as our concluding speaker this evening. Commissioner Clyburn is a new member of the FCC. She's been on board since last year. She is from the great state of South Carolina and is a former public service commissioner. And we're very honored to have her speaking this evening, FCC Commissioner Mignon Clyburn.
Thank you, Paul. I don't know if I've ever been brought up with music. That's pretty neat. I really appreciate that kind introduction. And thanks again to the E9-1 Institute for hosting such an incredible event. I want to congratulate once again the Congressional E9-1 Caucus on their 7th anniversary